Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Falcon fans. Good morning, Falcon fans. Hopefully, everybody is doing okay. This is your host of How About Those Falcons, T. Will, and we are about to get into the Falcons Steelers, the recap, where we went wrong, what we can do to correct it, and next week's upcoming game against the Eagles. Stand by. Be back with you in about a minute, and let's get after it. Thank you. Good morning, Falcon fans. How is everyone doing on this Wednesday morning? I believe it is Hump Day, September the 11th. So, again, to those who gave their lives for this country, shout out to you, dedication to you. We will never get over or forget your sacrifice. To those victims who've experienced that, again, it never gets old. We'll never forget. And God bless each and every one of you. God bless this country. Now, let's get into it. We are here to talk about the Falcons versus the Steelers, where we went wrong, what happened, maybe what we can do to correct it going forward, and talk about a little overreactions today. So, that being said, Falcons review. Let's get to it. Defensive effort. Defensive effort, I'd say for this game was pretty good. Don't have an issue with it. We gave up no touchdowns, none, which, especially with the time of possession that the Steelers placed had the ball, I think that is great. I think this defense did the best they could. I mean, yeah, they might have given up over 100 yards in rushing, but as long as Pittsburgh had the ball, I think that is acceptable. Again, great job. No TDs, all field goals, two sacks. Um, they really did an excellent job with that. Actually held the Steelers to under 200 yards passing. Total yards allowed was 270. And yeah, two sacks. Unfortunately, they didn't get any turnovers, and I think that kind of hurt us because we turned the ball over, I think, three times, right? We threw two interceptions and one fumble. And I think ultimately that is probably the difference in the game. If we don't, make those turnovers, maybe we get two field goals, maybe we get three field goals. Again, we lost by 8 points. We scored no points in the second half, and so that really hurt us. But from a defensive perspective, it was pretty good. I have no issue with the effort that was provided. I have no issue with the effort that was put forth by the defense. They hung in there. They got two sacks at critical times. They got, I believe, two fourth down stops. So they played their hearts out. I don't have any issue with them. Whew. Next, we're going to get to the offense. Now, that's a little bit of a different story. We got to talk about this offense. So, first half, got 10 points. I'm not going to say that was great, but they did move the ball. They threw one interception in the first half. But again, they went at halftime up 10-9, came out in the second half, scored no points. That's right, you heard me. No points, 0 points, nothing. So I think that was, kind of the tail of the tape. There were three turnovers. I think they had 137 passing yards, 16 of 26 completions. Couldn't really run the ball in the second half. Rushing, we had 22 rushes, 89 yards on 22 attempts. Averaged about 4 yards a carry. Total yards for the offense was 226 yards. And I guess my question for the offense is number one, why not run plays from under center? There was only one play run by the Falcons under center. And Kirk being, a play action specialist, you have to ask yourself, why was that? Was it because they felt like his best chance to not get hit was in the pistol formation or in shotgun? Is it that maybe that Achilles heel is, not as healed as we would like it to be? We don't know, but this question has to be asked. So, that was one of the takeaways for me is that we only ran one play under center in the entire game. Um, and then in the second half, it looked like, Pittsburgh got caught on to what we were doing and we didn't really change. Looks like we ran the same plays in the running game. Now, again, they weren't a total bust, but you probably needed a wrinkle off of that. You probably needed some sort of play action. I would like to think it was there. The other thing that the offense couldn't do is they could not block TJ Watt. I mean, no matter what they did, it's just they couldn't block him. I don't know why there was not chipping added to this. I don't know why you didn't shift the tight end over to McGarry's side because McGarry was clearly having issues. I think there was one play where Kyle was blocking, and TJ Watt is over there on McGarry, and I'm thinking to myself, why put Kyle over there? Because again, Kyle is a great receiver. Kyle is not known for his blocking, right? So it seemed like we didn't necessarily set ourselves up for success in the second half. Um, maybe the play calling could have been different. I don't know. I'd really have to get into the film and deep film study. What I did notice is on that last interception, it looked like Kirk's arm came down on either a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman that was backed into him, and it did impede the throw. Even though it was triple coverage, if you look at the pass of the receiver, he's running up the sideline. So if you throw it right to the outside shoulder, up and away where only he can get it, it shouldn't be intercepted. What happened is the defense or the pocket collapsed, comes back on Kirk's arm. You see his arm come down, and the throw is impeded. It's short, in other words, and then it's picked off. So I can't really blame him for that second interception because it just kind of, it happened. The first one, however, that's all Kirk. The fumble looked like it was a timing issue. So we were running a tight end in motion. Looks like the tight end and the ball, by the time the tight end got right behind the center, the ball was snapped and it hit the tight end in the leg. He didn't see it because he's looking the other way. Fumbled happened. TJ Watt recovers it. So to me, a little bit of sloppy play. Now, can you contribute that to, no preseason games? Maybe you can. Maybe you can. And you got to think about it. Would you want your 36-year-old quarterback just coming off an Achilles injury? Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Would you want that quarterback coming off that specifically out there in preseason where he could get hurt? Our first preseason game, we lost two guys um, to season-ending injuries. So in my opinion, it's kind of six on one hand, half a dozen on the other. Um, I don't think there's a particularly wrong opinion. I mean, we could have, had them to play in the first three preseason games and they could have been totally healthy and maybe they would have been sharp, or they could have played in the, first three preseason games and something catastrophic happened. So, whatever your thoughts are, I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think that's just the path the Falcons chose, and maybe it takes them a game to get, I guess, in game shape, game ready, and ready at game speed. So there we go. Now we have the stats for Mr. Kirko Frost, and might want to close your eyes. They're not too pretty. So passing yards, 137. That's right, people. I said 137 yards. Although there was kind of a difference in the stats because one said 16 of 26 for 155 yards. I don't know if an interception went back against that. Maybe that's the difference between the 55 and the 137. Either way, 155 is not much better. One TD, two interceptions. On third down conversions, we were 2 for 9. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of the game, right? We could not convert on third down. We could not convert on third down. So, fourth down, I think we were 1 for 1, which is, I mean, we made it, but we could not take care of business on third down. So we kept putting our defense in a position to go back out on the field. And ultimately, I think in that last drive, it caught up to them because you're tired. You spend 40 minutes on the field, you know, you're going to get tired. Um, those 1 or 2 yard runs in the first quarter typically turn into 5 and 6 in the fourth quarter if the defense does not have sufficient rest during the game. And with a conversion rate of 2 for 9, I guarantee you they did not have the proper rest, and it wore down on them. Even still, with that, our defense stopped them twice on fourth down. So big ups to the defense, big ups to Grady Jarrett, big ups to David Onyemata, big ups to Eddie Malcolm, big ups to everybody. That defense really played well. So can't take anything away from them. Our offense just could not keep anything going. And that's unfortunate. And that could be a product of rust. Don't know. Defensive standouts. We had Grady Jarrett with half a sack, and it was on a critical third down. We had Matthew Judon with 1.5 sacks, I believe both on critical third downs. And Justin Simmons did have a pass breakup. So we just wanted to give them a shout out in regards to their defensive effort because it was great. And, I felt like they are due their just desserts. This defense really played well. And there you go. All right. We are at the point of key points to the game. First interception, first quarter with 4 minutes and 5 seconds left. Not sure why Kirk threw that ball. Looking at it, there looked to have been, if he'd have waited a bit, it looked like he had Kyle maybe entering into a zone where it was least less coverage. Kirk threw that one in the triple coverage. I don't know what Kirk saw. I really don't. So can't really defend him on that one. It happened, and I guess we just have to move on. The second one was the fumble in the second quarter with 10 minutes and 35 seconds left. I believe the Falcons were driving. It was bad timing. It took us out of momentum, and I don't think we ever recovered. Again, it was simply just an issue of timing. The tight end was running in motion. The ball was snapped at the exact time the tight end was behind the center. So it hit his leg. The tight end wasn't looking for the ball because he's running in motion. Why should he? And, that happened. And of course, the second and final interception happened with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the fourth quarter and essentially put the game on ice for the Steelers. Looked like Kirk was trying to get the ball down the field, down the sideline, outside shoulder to the receiver, and his arm came down on either his own offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, and it obstructed the ball. It obstructed the path of the ball. So wasn't able to do that. Um, and that's it. And then the last one is the game-ending sack in the fourth quarter with zero point 0.8 seconds left, and of course I'm sorry, 8 seconds left. And of course, that was done by none other than Mr. TJ Watt, who was the villain, or as the young folks say, the opposition of the game. TJ Watt really had his way in the second half. We couldn't stop him. We couldn't block him. We couldn't do anything to him. We got to figure that out because this defense that we're going to face with Philadelphia is a really good one. So those are the keys to the game. Our next matchup again is. Oh, excuse me, guys. Oh, I'm so sorry. Next matchup is going to be Falcons at Eagles. It is going to be this coming Monday night. It will be in Philadelphia. That crowd is going to be very unfriendly, very unruly. Philly's typically a difficult place to play. So, good luck to our Atlanta Falcons. They're going to need it. Um, some of the must-dos to have a chance at winning this game is the offense must be consistent in this game against the Eagles. Secondly, there can be no, and I mean no turnovers for the offense, nothing. Thirdly, the defense is probably going to hold the Eagles to 17 points or no more than 20. I know that is a difficult task, but that's what they're going to need to do in order to win. Falcons are going to need to win the time of possession battle. In other words, we're going to need to hold the ball longer than they have it. So if we keep it for 30 minutes and they keep it for 20 or whatever the equivalent is, I don't know. We have a shot. And then I would say the defense needs to at least get 2 turnovers. Again, I don't know how realistic that is, but that's what we are going to need to do when we go into Philadelphia. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. But when we go into Philadelphia, that's what we're going to need to do. If you don't do that, your chances of winning are probably slim and none with Slim walking out the door. Okay. So, next and final slide is Overreaction Sunday. Overreaction Sunday. So I gotta admit that was a putrid performance by the offense. I cannot lie. That performance by our beloved Atlanta Falcons was awful, and there's nothing further I can say about it. It was just bad. Now, some of the reactions that we see on Twitter and other social media platforms include, but are not limited to, bring back Cam. That's right, bring back Cam Newton. Cam's a big dude. He can run the ball. He was pretty good in 2011 and, you know, took them to the Super Bowl in 2015. Let's bring Cam back. Well, my issue with that is number one, it's 2024, and no disrespect to Cam. Let me tell you something. Cam was a great player, but it's 2024. Cam. I don't think Cam can throw anymore based on damage and injuries that he experienced in the game. So to say that you want to bring Cam Newton back, um, I don't know what the purpose of that is, and you probably have not done your research. And no disrespect to anybody that is of that opinion, but it is not one that is well researched. Because part of the reason why Cam is no longer in the league is because he couldn't throw anymore. He was not the most accurate quarterback to begin with, but when those shoulder injuries started to pile up, he just couldn't throw anymore. So why you would want to bring Cam back, right? And you're gonna start him over Ritter? Like I mean, excuse me. Oh Lord Jesus, you're gonna start him over Kirk? You're gonna start him over Penix? I don't get that. The next one was bring back Desmond Ritter. Bring him back right now. I do not understand what that is. And Falcon fans, I get it. We have been through a lot of trauma. As a matter of fact, in one of our episodes on the Friday show, ATL with TNL, Falcon Sports Talk, we're going to get into trauma experienced by Falcon fans and the affect and what it does. We're going to talk about that because that is a real thing. And that is the only logical explanation why somebody would say, oh, just bring back Ritter because better the devil you know, right? Better the devil you know than the devil you don't, right? People don't want to get their hopes up because then they get disappointed and it's a whole emotional reaction. And I get it. I was there in 2016. I get it. Anybody who says they didn't, if you are a real Falcons fan, anybody who said you didn't go through a little bit of trauma, anybody who said you didn't go through a little bit of a depression, just a little bit, I don't know that you're necessarily being honest with yourself and others. And hey, I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just saying trauma is real. And that is the only excuse as to why you would ever utter the words, bring Ritter back. I do not understand that. Ritter on his best day cannot hold Kirk Cousins' coattail. So, any quarterback can have a bad game. Ritter had a season and four bad games. So, let's just go ahead and dispense that Cam and Ritter talk. It's, in my humble opinion, utterly ridiculous. Next, play Penix now. Play Michael Penix now. Michael Penix is a rookie. He has not seen certain defenses, and that would be my last resort. Now, if Kirk is hurt, then maybe you have no choice. And again, the only fair assessment that came out of this entire analysis of the Falcons is, why was Kirk not under center more? That's a fair statement. That's a fair question. To my knowledge, I don't know that the Falcons have answered that. I don't know that they will answer that. I don't know if, it's a situation where his heel is sore. I don't know what it is. Now, to be honest, watching him in practice, that didn't look to be the case. Okay. That definitely did not look to be the case. So I don't know. I just don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know why you wouldn't pay him, or excuse me, why you wouldn't play him under center unless there was some sort of injury or something prohibiting that. So, if Kirk is hurt, you have no choice but to play Penix. But that would really be my very, 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 very last resort. Okay. Then you got, the season is over. And all I can say to that is, really? The season's over after the first game? Really? The season's over. We play 17 games, and the season, even if we go 0-3, the season is not over. Understand, most of our difficult games are up front. First 3-4 games. So if we can come out of this 2-2, even 1-3, you have a very good shot of still winning 12, 11 games. So the season is not lost. People, you have to understand, we have new offensive coordinators, essentially a new offense, new defensive coordinators. This team is going to get better. They are going to get better, but you have to give them time to gel. Now, they can't look like what they looked like on Sunday. I mean, that was just bad. But again, some of that could be attributed to the fact that they didn't play in the preseason. Okay, so especially the timing with the fumble and the tight end running in motion. That's just timing. That's just repetition. That's just being in game scenarios. So, I can't agree with anyone who says, "Oh, well, the season's over." That's ridiculous. That is an extreme overreaction. It makes no sense. And you really need to. I don't know if you need to get the pessimism out of your heart. I don't know if you need to, you know, look at some positive, motivating videos. But to say that the season is over after one game, you are one of the most pessimistic fans on the planet. And again, I'm not attacking anybody because, again, that trauma thing is real. And I can understand the first thought being, oh, here we go again. I don't want to see this. Here we go again. Who wants to go through this? Who wants to experience this? I get it. I totally understand. But people, it is one game, right? It's one game. Even if you go to Philly and lose, even if the Chiefs come in here and you lose, you still have 14 games after that, right? And it's a very good chance of those 14 games left, you'll win 11. So the good thing that the schedule makers did for us is they put all of our difficult challenges up front. They put all of the medicine we didn't want to take up front. Those of you who used to take castor oil, guess what? They put it all up front. You get to start your day with it, start your season with it, and you don't have to take it anymore. Right? Well, unless you get to the playoffs. And if you get to the playoffs, it's probably a good thing. Probably means you won 11 or 12 games. But to say, to think, to insinuate, to infer that the season is over is, in my opinion, utterly ridiculous and, an extreme jump to a negative conclusion. Last but not least, one of the things that could be heard throughout the hallowed halls of Mercedes-Benz Stadium was, we paid this, substitute the word because there were some colorful ones used. We paid this person $100 million. We paid this person $100 million. We paid this dude, we paid this guy $100 million, right? That is all you heard leaving the bench. I can't believe we paid him $100 million, right? To those people who uttered that comment, I have something for you that I think you need to see, because I think it will enlighten your thought process on this very discussion. So, these are the top paid quarterbacks in the NFL. Sorry about that, guys. These are the top paid quarterbacks in the NFL. You got Dak Prescott at $60 million. You got Joe Burrow at $55 million. You got Trevor Lawrence at $55 million. You got Jordan Love at $55 million. I think you guys see where I'm going, right? You got Tua Tagovailoa at $53 million. You got Jared Goff at $53 million. You got Justin Herbert at $52.5 million. You got Lamar Jackson at $52 million. You have Jalen Hurts at $51 million. You have Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray at $46 million. Kirk's not even top 10. Kirk's not even top 10. So that's all I'm saying. He's not even top 10 in payroll. So, with that being said, hey, let's do better. Let's do better this week. Let's come together, Falcons fans. Let's not be so quick to be negative. It's a full season for a reason. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's get through this, guys. Let's kill the narrative that we're short-sighted. Let's kill the narrative that we can't get through this. To those of you who did join the podcast this morning, I thank you. I appreciate you. You guys have a great day. Again, I am T Will from One Time for the Fan and for my ATL Sports. This has been How About Those Falcons? You can like, share, and subscribe at For My ATL Sports 1 at YouTube. Say again, please like, share, and subscribe For My ATL Sports 1 at YouTube. You guys have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow night, or actually, I'm sorry, later on tonight. Today's Wednesday, on our scheduled show for One Time for the Fan at 8 p.m. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Thank you for your time and joining me. And thank God, for whom all blessings flow, for waking me up in the morning and everything he's done. Thank you.